So that we are starting. Okay. Okay. Let's check it. I think it's working fine. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I think it's working fine. Okay, perfect. There is no lag. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. No FPS drop. Perfect. So there is no echo on my end, right? So the voice is
Nope.
perfect.
Everything clear.
Okay, perfect. I'm just double checking everything in order to like. Okay. Okay. Let me sit into my original position here. And let me know if we can start. Let me know. Are you both good to start?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can start.
Okay. That's me. Just these cables. Okay. Welcome everyone in my very new episode of my Dev Live show. Today I'm joined with the two creators of the game called Vivat Slovakia. And I'm very thankful and very honored that you joined us for today's episode. I'm hoping that I pronounced the game's title name right, but let me know if not. And yeah, like I'm always saying, let's start with a little bit of introduction. So please introduce yourself for us.
So, ladies first.
All right. So my name is Marcy.
Okay.
I am. Should I say what my role is, or are we just
Yeah, I would be
introducing?
thankful for that. Yeah.
All right. So I'm working on cutscenes.
Okay.
Also very flexible with what I'm working on. Mostly,
I see.
I'm fitting the role that needs to be
I see.
fitted in, and yeah, that's probably me.
I see. Thank you for that. What about you?
Yeah, so my name is Jacob or Diello, depending on where I'm currently at. And I do game design and character design.
I see.
And also some behind the scenes business administration, marketing type of stuff. I think we will get to it later, but since we have a very small team, most of us feel more than just one role on the project. So that's just how it goes.
I see. So my first real question would be, what was your very first contact with video games as a player, if you remember those times of your past? Again, of course, question goes both to you.
Okay, so I will take this one first.
Okay.
I've had contact with video games since a very early age.
Okay.
I have an older brother, and when I was about 7, maybe, he was already 12, 13.
I see.
And he convinced our parents to buy the first computer. That was probably something like a 386 or 486 running DOS, maybe later Windows 95.
I see.
And right away I was enchanted by just sitting behind the screen and playing stuff like Tunneler.
Nice.
And I don't know, Jazz the Jackrabbit, maybe
Nice,
later on
nice.
the Worms games from Team 17. So from a very early age, I've gotten into video games, and they have been a major part of my life ever since. It's definitely a form of escapism for me, and I also think that from all the various kinds of media, games or video games are unique in the matter where you have all of the features of the other media, right? You have the sound or music, you have the visuals, the graphics, and you have the interactivity, which lets you immerse yourself in those worlds, into the gameplay, into the story. So for me, it's basically the height of art or expression, as well as escapism.
I see. I respect that, by the way. What about you?
My first contact with games was probably when my parents bought a PS1. I mean, my father bought a PS1 for the kids.
Okay.
So I just grew up playing games. Crash Bandicoot, Spyro the
Nice.
Dragon, very classic.
He's there.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying it. Um, Later on, I decided to go study games, but
I
it was
see.
much later on. It was my bachelor's. There was no school that did games in Slovakia, so
I
I
see.
just
I
had
see.
to
I see.
stick with animation, unfortunately.
I see.
But it was a good stepping stone for that school.
I
I
see.
am. I'm still finishing my master's
Oh, okay.
in England. So I'm always interacting with games. I'm still active.
Nice, nice.
And now I'm also working on something that is actually shipped.
I see. I respect that you haven't given up with your passion. I respect that. Nice, nice, nice.
Thank you.
Okay, so going from this topic that we talked about just now, I'm interested in what was like the very first tick in your life when you realized that, okay, it's not just that now I'm loving playing video games, but I also would like to work on video games. And what was the transition time for being a gamer or from being a gamer to a game developer? Again, of course, question goes to both of you.
You wanna take this one?
Yeah, I'll take this one.
Okay.
So it's very simple.
Okay.
I mean, I ended my bachelor's and I needed a job.
I see.
And I still wanted to continue working on games
I
as
see.
in my as a university.
I see.
I made tiny projects. I still wanted to continue working on something. So this was the perfect opportunity. And they were looking for a cutscene editor in Unity, which is a very niche thing in Slovakia, apparently. So
I
I
see.
fitted that role, and that's how I got here. I mean, I still enjoy playing games, of course. There's not that much time, unfortunately, but I always had something that I'm playing right now. It's Baldur's Gate.
Nice.
So yeah, always had a passion for games, and I think it's not ending
I see.
anytime soon.
I see. I see. What about you?
Yeah, for me it was a bit of a longer process.
Okay.
So first of all, I never had a formal education in anything related to
I
games,
see. I see.
nor to any of the professions that I've worked in since college.
I see.
I have a bachelor's in business law.
Oh, okay. It's totally
And
different. I mean, it's not that
yeah,
different,
yeah,
but it ties up to the video game industry as well a bit. But
yeah, a bit, but not directly. But I most of my life I've worked as a freelancer in 2D and 3D
I
graphics.
see.
Later on in copywriting and
Oh,
marketing,
okay.
and I kind of feel like a lot from these disciplines kind of came together and evolved into what I do now,
I see.
either as a game designer or the marketing stuff behind the scenes. But it took. I always wanted to professionally do something
I
with
see.
video games. I made my first game, not released, of course, when I was like 12 or 13 in Blender. Everything done in Blender, just a simple like Maze Runner. Um, and I've been wanting to get into the industry ever since, but it took a long time. And Vivat Slovakia was actually my first project in the professional industry uh, when common acquaintance of mine and of our lead developer called me and said that these guys were looking for someone to create characters for the game, and I jumped on that immediately. And later on, that role evolved more into what I'm doing right now.
I see.
And in the meantime, I started working as a game designer on another project as well for a different studio. And I honestly still can't believe that this is my life. I wake up every morning and I just do what I always wanted to do. I literally just play games, think about games, and talk about games the whole day long. So this is literally, or in my case, a dream come true,
I see.
and I can't really imagine myself doing anything other than what I'm currently doing, or something very adjacent in the future, because it's so varied that it covers like a lot of my creative itches, uh, and it's very fulfilling to see something you work on come to fruition, go out into the world, and it's video games. So just to cap it off, I always like to tell this little anecdote of my father taking away the AC cable from my desktop computer when I was little, when I played too much on my computer, saying something along the lines of, "No one will ever pay you money to play video games." So the
Now they
future is
do.
now, old man. And yes, part of my job description literally is to play video games, and I paid for that. So guess I proved him wrong. No,
He was
he's
worried
very
about you,
supportive.
right? Every parent
Yes,
wants to
yes,
like
no.
their
It
kids
was a
to.
different time. It
True,
was a
true,
different
true,
time. We're
true,
talking about 20 plus years ago.
true,
So,
true, true.
but now he's very supportive and he's very proud of what we've achieved.
I see.
And yeah, we just look back on this as a fond, funny memory.
Okay. As you mentioned the topic of parents and them being supportive, a more personal question from me would be, how do you feel about, like, were your family, parents, and close friends supportive about the decision that you made the first step in order to work on video games? Again, of course, question goes both to you.
You want to take this one first?
Yeah, sure. So very simple for me. Most of my friends' reactions, either initial or over the time, were just to, of course, you are working on video games. You always wanted to, and you were always an addict. So
That's
it
the
makes
passion,
sense
right? So
for
it
them.
matters.
Yeah, yeah, it makes sense to them. My family, or I guess close family, parents, and my brother, they support me.
I see.
They maybe at some point, or at some times, mostly the parents don't 100% understand
I
what
see.
I'm doing, but I try hard to explain it to them
I see.
when there's some like technical stuff. And yeah, they've been nothing but supportive ever since I started working in the game industry. It's like more than 4 years ago now.
I see.
And they've already voiced that they're proud when they saw Vivat Slovakia came out into early access earlier this year. So they are watching with pride and suspense to see where we can take this.
I see. What about you?
I mean, my of course, for my friends, it was like, yeah, duh, you making games, but actually, it wasn't that simple. Now, when I keep in touch with my uni friends, I'm actually one of those few that continue working in game industry.
I see.
And of course, they support me. I send them the demo, I mean the release pre-release version, and they're really excited. Like they're really happy for me, and I just love the game. Supported me in all areas. So I'm very thankful for those kind of friends.
I see. I see. Do you, by the way, think that having a supportive background is important in your life, or not that much? So you have done it anyway if you did not have a supportive background? Again, of course,
Of
question
course,
goes both
it's
to you.
it's important
Okay.
because you get feedback, but it's important to get constructive feedback.
Okay.
So something that keeps you moving and going, and also something that maybe stops you from doing something. It's like, oh, I need to remake this. Definitely, it's not working.
I see. I see. I see. I see. And what about you? How do you feel about
Yeah,
it?
for me, I mean, it is kind of important for me to have that support from my close
I see.
circles.
I see.
Um, I mean, they don't really need to understand what I'm doing. They need to
I see.
they need to grasp that what I'm doing is very fulfilling, and that I'm satisfied, and that I can make, at least relatively speaking, a living out of it.
I see.
And yeah, it is important to a certain degree, but I'm pretty sure that I would be doing this even like without. I can't really imagine it like having outright no support or even like I don't want to say hostility, but like not understanding at all
I see.
from my family. I can't really imagine coming to that, but even so, I'm pretty sure I would be doing the same stuff.
I see. So speaking about Vivat Slovakia, which came first, the gameplay or the story when you started designing the game?
So to answer this correctly, we need to go back one step to Vivat Sloboda or Vivat Freedom, I guess in English, which was kind of like an MVP project, kind of prequel, a very very small mini game. You could finish it in I don't know 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
I see.
It was done. It was done by just a couple of people from our team way back when, with the support of O2 Foundation, if I remember correctly. And it featured just a very, very small and portion of Bratislava as is now in the game. And it followed just a very short story of a taxi driver driving students to the protest. I'm not sure how to translate it into English, but the protest where everyone jingled with their keys. So you followed that storyline, and that was it. And it was a huge hit since, or at least in our country, it was a huge hit. We got an award for it as well, and it was kind of also a proof of concept that this would be interesting enough for people, and from there, um, Vivat Slovakia, Vivat Slovakia took on more concrete shape. To answer the question directly, the story definitely came first.
I see.
I don't think I will be mistaken if I say that the one of the most unique or even the most unique features of the game is that it's all based or practically everything in the game is based on real life events as they happened in the 90s here in Slovakia. Of course, we took some creative freedoms when designing the gameplay and the world around to make it more entertaining, to make it more accessible. But yeah, the core of the story is all um, all based on true events. We even have after every story mission, there's like a short intermezzo with sources, with actual sources coming up on the screen that describe the specific event that story mission
so
was
players
based
can
on.
learn from it. I see.
Yeah, and so yeah, definitely story came first. It was very important for us to have a realistic slice of Bratislava, the capital in the 90s, as it was in the 90s. It actually works kind of like an archive as well, because a lot of the buildings that we have in the game currently aren't uh, aren't in the real life locations anymore. They've been torn down. So I think we managed to capture the 90s atmosphere pretty well. And of course, the story that we are telling when the wild 90s were really wild over here. I mean, politicians and gangsters and the secret police working kind of all intertwined. And it's not that far back, right? It's
true.
Just like 30 something years, maybe even less in some cases. So not that far ago, not that long ago. And it's crazy when you think about it. And a lot of people, I grew up in the 90s, and most of the stuff I didn't register, of course, because of my age. I learned about it later on in life.
True.
But that goes for a lot of people, either my generation or the previous or the next, that they don't even know about these events, even though they happened not so long ago, and they are truly bizarre in some cases. So this was very important for us to show this to our country and also to the outside
I respect
world.
that, by the way, because like it's not just that it's risky, in my opinion, to do, especially these days with the ongoing cancel culture in every country, but also like a very nice touch of having these historical events, so people can, not just in your country but in other countries, people can learn from it. I think it really
We were very
matters.
sorry, we were very careful when you noted when you mentioned the like the political climate and cancel culture. We were very careful about keeping the game as apolitical as we possibly could. We aren't really taking sides in the game. We are just telling the facts as we know them from the sources.
I see.
So that there's no confusion about us promoting some political party or some person.
Yeah.
And also most of the stuff that happens in the games, or most of the characters that are in the game story, are either not alive anymore, or they aren't politically active anymore,
I see.
or they are in jail for life. Sorry. So I'm pretty sure it would be a lot
historically
more
correct, right?
Yeah, to do this kind of game based on more recent events, for example, I think that would provide a much bigger challenge.
True. More risky would it be? Yeah, exactly. Okay. You also have spoken about the fact that you work in a small team. How hard or easy was it to find each other and form this group of people who have this passion for this game? Because it's very rare, right, to find those people and form a group together who really has the same vision in order to grow as a team and grow their game. Again, of course, question goes to both of you.
Yeah. So this was I came a bit later on.
I see.
When the core of the team was already formed.
I see.
But I know that, and I see it since then, that it's for one thing, it's a big challenge to get people together in general. There are a lot of people working in the game industry in our country, but in comparison to maybe some other countries, it's definitely a smaller number. And some of the professions are very much underrepresented, or how I should say that. For example, there's a big demand. There's a much bigger demand for animators in Slovakia than the actual supply, for example. And it was definitely a challenge to bring all the people together and even more so to keep them together for all these years, with a project that is definitely an indie project on basically a shoestring budget, without the support of a big publisher or investor. So I definitely acknowledge that everyone working on this project has 100% of their hearts in it. I'm very thankful for that, and I hope that we can, from this project on, we can move to another one, stay together, and work on what we love, because it's definitely been a challenging and difficult journey for every one of us, and it brought us together.
I see. What about you?
I mean, I also came in later. It was actually last year in December, so it wasn't that far yet. But I have to say, yeah, people don't have to have the same vision. They just gotta understand their roles. So it's not necessarily about finding the same people, sharing the same ideas. You have to get along, of course, but
it's not a common opinion, by the way, what you have said just now. I'm listening.
All right. Well, I worked in a lot of teams, you know, you gotta see that, and we weren't necessarily friends. We didn't share each other opinions.
Do you think it's not important to be open-minded about being friends with each other if you work in a team?
It usually falls into friendship after a project. Like, I still keep in touch with those people.
I see.
those are unique friends, of course, but still, you're not really looking for friends, but you're looking for reliable people that
it's true,
have
by the way.
passion
It's
for
true,
games. So I think this team fulfills this. So there's no doubt that we have all different ideologies and hobbies, ideas. So it's just about the drive and the ambition.
I see.
Yeah. Marcy said a key word that resonates with me a lot, and that's reliable. And I like to say that whenever I would have the choice of working with someone that has 10 years of expertise and is the best in their field, um, but it's difficult to work with that person in comparison to someone who maybe has less experience but is driven, ambitious, willing to learn, and has good communication and is a reliable. Then any day I would choose the second person, the less experienced, more easy to work with, more reliable, because I think that in the long term that pays out.
True.
That pays off a lot.
And that person will stay as well, right? For more.
Yeah. Yes.
Do you believe, by the way, in perfect synergy between team members, speaking of this topic, or is it something that develops out through the journey of working together? Of course, again, the question goes to both of you.
I'm not sure that that's something actually real or attainable, not at the start of the project. I mean, yes,
so you never had perfect synergy from the start with people?
Definitely. I don't think that's even possible. I mean, yes, between some people, of course, it's easier. With the amount of people increasing, it gets more difficult, I'm sure. And it's definitely a matter of time before that develops, if even. I mean, yeah.
I see. Okay. What about you?
I'd say synergy. That's it's a very broad term. It could be really anything, and just if people are using, let's say, something for organization, Trello, Hack and Plan, etc., they already having that synergy in that way. They organized, and let's for example say that Agile is kind of creating the synergy in teams.
Yeah, but I mean, synergy also can mean that like two people have like the pretty same vision when they like meet each other and they understand each other from just one word, right? So it can happen, in my opinion. So it's not that a bad word for that. Did you ever had that between people with you? Oh, sorry.
Sure. Yeah, between some. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Definitely. Okay. But I just meant that it's
very I understand it. No.
Between everyone in any kind of team.
Okay.
Any kind of project.
Okay. So more personal question from me would be, again, I believe that all of us creators who create our own craft, we always tend to put our inner soul, past experiences about love or loss, or anything that we experienced in our past into the project we make. Is this statement of mine true for you as well in your work when you work on video games? And what examples could you name about it if it's true for your work?
I mean, I would probably have to just speak in general terms of me wanting to share my love of video games with everyone else. So on my part, I want to do everything in my power to make the game as enjoyable as the ones that I enjoy, and so pass this feeling on to everyone playing it.
Okay. And what about the personal side? Because you mentioned that you are a creative person and you like to create words and characters and everything. Do you think, like, when you create, for example, characters, is there anything that as a creator you put into it, which is you basically?
Yeah, I mean, there's always
because that's in my opinion unavoidable, right? So that's why I'm asking you.
Yeah, definitely. There's a fine balance between like my own creativity and the assignment I guess
I see.
you could say, right? Sometimes there's more space for one's creativity or one's imagination.
Okay.
Sometimes less. I can't really point out something specific that influences me in my creative process.
I see.
I would say that if anything, then it's other games that I've played and my love for movies and series and anime. Um, so I tend to um, I'm falling short on the word. Uh, I tend to inspire myself um, from these sources.
I see. What about you?
Yeah. Of course, if you work in a team, your personal motivation needs to be kind of excluded, but still part of your drive to work.
Okay.
So let's say if you have ideas, you just cannot get married to them.
Okay.
Even though you're creating something, you should have a place for feedback.
Okay.
So really having your own concepts helps.
Okay.
Essentially, but you just have to let go of them if they're not useful. And of course, personal drive. I'm a person. I have my own ideologies. I have my own traumas, my loves and don'ts and likes.
As we all do, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we all do. So that all just keeps me working, having passion for the games, creating. That all comes together pretty much.
I see. Okay. So, what about like the difficulty goal of your game? What was the goal with the difficulty setting when you started developing this game? Since both of you told me that you grow up on those old school games, which in my opinion was harder than nowadays.
So
most nowadays
like
games. Yeah, the difficulty setting.
Okay.
What was the goal with it? Like, did you aim like a
So
harder game, or did you aim something
I
in the
think
middle ground?
we pretty much went for what most games would have as a normal or medium
Okay.
difficulty setting.
Okay.
We never aspired to be Dark Souls of open
Okay.
worlds. But definitely we wanted, at least in some areas, some challenges.
I see.
So, for example, one of our side activities in the open world are time trials. Personally, for me, not everyone will agree with me from the team, but personally for me, they are very challenging.
Okay.
More so if you want to do gold medals, not just silver or bronze in the time trials. So for me, that is actually quite challenging and fun. But also during the story, there are less difficult parts, and then there are some like shootouts that require at least a bit of shooter experience. But I think first and foremost, the game was and is supposed to be fun and tell the story with an adequate challenge.
I see.
Included. Yeah.
I see. So far of your journey being a game developer, what was your favorite part about the process of making this game? Again, of course, question goes to both of you.
I'm gonna have to think about that for a second.
I know it's always easier to ask favorites, right? than to answer them.
It's almost like you were asking what's your favorite movie.
True.
Or what's your favorite song.
Like I said, it's always the evil side of asking.
Yeah.
It's always easier.
I mean, one of my most favorite moments, definitely pre-release.
Okay.
If we're talking pre-release,
okay.
was when we were recording some car sounds. I mean, we can get into that a bit more later on, but I had to, since I mentioned that we sit on more than one chair, we took on more than one role most of the time. So I was the designated driver of a very, very old Skoda. I'm gonna probably mess this up. Skoda 1000 something. I can't remember the model number, but it's like a van type of car, very old, and it was very popular back then. And this guy that lives not far outside of Bratislava contacted us and told us that he had one of these in a very good condition, and we already planned to have it in the game. So me, our producer, and our sound designer all went to meet this person, and we spent most of the day driving around with the old Skoda, recording every possible sound that it could make. And that was a very, I would say, unique experience for me, since it didn't take place behind a computer screen, right? Like most of the stuff that happens or that I worked on, and yeah, I never I never really uh, recorded sounds of a car. So that was a very nice change of pace and a very nice experience for me before release. And then I would have to say the release itself earlier this year in April. That was very suspenseful. Very we were on edge, but also it was a very favorite moment of mine, a big milestone for the game.
I see. What about you?
More enjoying the itsy tiny bits in the game. For example,
okay.
I was also propping the terrain and the city.
I see.
So I enjoyed just adding the finishing touches, making it live, making it live, creating stories just based on props, chairs, furniture. That was a very fun part. But of course, also seeing the product in the end, like all comes together. That's very satisfying for a game developer.
I see.
Because you have all these people working on sound, animation, etc., and you see those elements put together, and you just thinking, "Wow, this is a game. We made a game."
True, very true. Okay. We have spoken about like your favorite parts, but what about the hardest parts of the process of making this game together and working on this game?
So I would say the hardest part would be a bit in general, having a small team work on a relatively big project.
Okay.
And managing those time and capacity constraints.
I see.
That's challenging and not the most fun during such a project. But also times when a bit of demotivation or demoralization kicks in, like when we I don't know, when we didn't get like a grant request for finances, or when some people or some groups told us over and over again that this is just too big of a project for such a small team, and that we bit off more than we could chew. And basically, facing the non-believers, I guess I would say, which at times could be and can be quite demoralizing. So I would say that these for me are the most the least favorite and the most difficult times.
Yeah, it's interesting, by the way. Yeah, sorry for interrupting. I just wanted to say it's interesting that you mentioned this topic of like people were like against the fact that it is a small team of yours, but still making this enormously big game, right, and risky game. And I think that it's very interesting of a topic, because I feel like it comes from the topic of like a lot of players and a lot of people in the video game industry feel like if it's a small team that they should not be doing like their biggest game or a big game, right? Because it's weird. I mean, on one hand I can understand them, but on one hand it's like sometimes you have to take risks, right? And in the video game industry, probably or mainly or commonly, let's say indies who like are willing to take those risks, but even indies are not like mostly willing to take those big dream games, right? Only just a few indies who are down to that. So I think it's understandable that you made this choice of being like be able to like risk everything and go for the big fish, in my opinion. But yeah, sorry for interrupting you. It's your turn.
No worries. What was I talking about? What were
hard parts of the process of
hard
making
parts,
a game.
right?
Or parts, yeah,
right.
if there is more. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, the demoralizing things, of course, as Jacob said. There's plenty of them, of course. Yeah, that stops you from being motivated.
I see.
But there's just not enough time for everything.
I see.
It's always you hit the time limit and it's just not enough. So everything can be perfect, but there's 24 hours in a day.
You have to sleep, right? At the end of the
day. You have to sleep.
Some of the days, at least.
Sometimes, yeah.
True,
when you're not crunching.
True.
So yeah, sometimes we have difficulty during those days to fit in everything, and of course we wanted to make everything perfect and as playable as possible.
I see. Okay. How do you balance free time, by the way? As we've spoken of time, right?
What is free time?
What is free time? Yeah.
What? How do yeah?
Now, both of you mentioned like you are not just working on game, but for example, you are studying at university. You work for another video game company. How do you manage those times of yours?
Yeah, to be honest, I don't really.
Okay, so you just go with the flow, right?
I mean, I have a bit of a regime.
Okay.
To keep me sane, I most of the days I go to the go.
Is it like very strict, like you phase everything into order, or?
Not really through all of the through the whole day, but some parts of it are pretty strict or very regular.
I see.
Most of the days I start off the day by going for a run.
You gotta wake up first,
gym.
right?
Yes, to literally wake myself up and get energized for the whole day.
I see.
And then I spend most of the day's time during behind the computer screen with some intermittent break times.
I see.
For food or for just procrastination. And depending on the specific workload of the given day, I try to set at least some kind of deadline for myself.
I see.
On where I stop working for the day. This can range anywhere from 5-6 o'clock in the evening to 10-11, excluding crunch times or when something's really important and needs to be done. Then I can work well into the morning hours. But most of the days I try to at least have a couple of hours in the evening where I don't work at all, or and also try not to think about work, because that's also very difficult.
I see.
At sometimes. And then the free time goes either to playing other games or watching a movie, watching some TV series, reading a book, going out. Yeah, more not than yes, I guess. Weekends are a bit better, although since I started freelancing in my early 20s, I never really made much of a difference between a work day and a weekend day.
I see.
I'd much rather spread out the workload to 7 days and have more free time every day than work myself dead during the 5 days of the working week and then do nothing at all during the weekend. I can become quite restless during the weekend when there's nothing to do.
I see.
Right?
You miss work, right?
So
I respect that, by the way.
Because I like to see things moving along, right? Even though I don't really feel like working, I want to see the progress, and it can be difficult to force myself to take some free time to not work and not think about work.
I see. What about you?
Well, work is pretty much part of my hobby as
Okay.
well.
Okay.
Creating games. So when I finish work, I start on school. And school stuff is just basically working on assignments that I make for myself. So I'm still kind of continuing working on something I'm mildly interested in, even though it's limited. It's always interesting. For example, doing research, even the boring part is writing papers. It's still quite enjoyable.
I see.
You get to read and watch a lot of articles. For example, my uni work consists from watching a lot of GDC talks.
Okay.
So it's always helpful. And just at the end of the day, I can use this and in my professional work as well.
I see.
But yeah, of course, I should balance more, but there's no place for balancing.
Okay. As a creative person, when you have discovered like your own style in being creative and in your work. Again, of course, question goes both to you.
Sorry.
So in the creative side of your work, when you discovered your own style in that field that you're working on or working in, sorry.
I think I discovered my style. Of course, I'm a concept artist, so I have a specific style in drawing.
Okay.
I'd say I have a specific style in themes that I like, but creating games, not really.
Okay.
Since I worked in teams, I had to throw away my personal opinions a lot of times to make a space for everyone else's wants and beliefs. And I was always the person that would rather just throw away my opinions to make space for something that I liked. Someone, for example, someone said. So,
and if we go back to the side where you mentioned that you still have like a personal style, if it's like not a team work, have you discovered that?
If there's a personal assignment, or if there's some place where they tell me like, yeah, you can do whatever, just create something, and that's perfect. I still can. They can tell it's been drawn by me.
Yeah, but when you discovered that style, that was the original
when I
question.
discovered, I cannot tell you. That's not something when you make a just like, yeah, this is the point where I discovered my style. It's not, I'm still discovering what I like.
I disagree with you, by the way, on that, because I feel like everyone has discovered their style at some point of their life. It's just they
I have to
might
disagree on you with that, because I think you're still developing your style. It changes constantly.
No, you mentioned that, like you mentioned before, you're saying, you just said that like if it's drawn by you, people can tell you that it has been drawn by you, right? So it's your style. You had to like discover it at some point of your life.
Yeah, I mean, I just have to. We have to agree to disagree. But for me,
do you think like there is no one who really? So what you have just said, that do you think like nobody has ever discovered their own style? So everyone is just developing their own style throughout their life. That's what you said.
Of course, they have a style that is current, but I think it's hard
but
to.
if you look at a painting like Mona Lisa, you will be able to tell that it was drawn by that person, right? So you won't say that.
But that style also developed.
But
no, if you learn about art, you learn about the philosophy of like everyone has an own style, and it's like it develops throughout the life, but it's still like some, especially in drawing paintings, like there will be like some lines that will be just for that person, and no one will be able to replicate that. So that's the own style that I was saying.
Since you mentioned Mona Lisa, Picasso, he had his cubism, which he created, was very specific for him. But he made portraits, very realistic portraits in the beginning, and afterwards he had multiple styles of cubism. I'm not sure if in English it's the same. His blue face as well. and they all very different. They just
but
hold a different time in his life.
Yeah, true, but it still ties up to the same thing that I mentioned, that it's his style, right? So it's not other style that invented it. Like,
well, anyone could have that style, and
it's
let's
not
say
true.
some people.
It's not true. Like, why do you say that everyone can have that style? Like, if they copy it, if somebody invents a style, it's like if people will like replicate it, it's not his style. It's just a replication of that style.
I don't think so, because
Why?
they like it. That's the way they perceive themselves, and that's the way they express themselves. So it is their style as well, even though someone else has invented it.
Yeah, but still,
they will always put something of their own into it, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I wanted to say. That they will. If it's even if it's a replication, it won't be like the same style.
Right.
Okay. I see that you are not liking your time here. Sorry for saying that. I never said
I'm
that.
not.
I never said
No,
that
no,
during my
no.
shows, but I feel like I'm comfortable being here with you because I feel like you don't like your time here with me. But it's okay. I guess we are
Don't
humans.
worry about
No, it's
that.
yeah. I feel like it. It's true. It's true. You don't like being
It,
here with me,
it's
but
the part
it's okay.
where
I guess.
people.
I guess it had to happen at some point in my Dev Live shows, right? That I asked some
You also
personal
have to.
questions and people try to dip it. You could at least tell me that you are not down to answer my personal questions, but it's
Oh
okay.
no, no,
No, it's
don't
okay.
worry
It's okay.
about
No,
it.
it's okay. It's okay.
People have different ideas, and
It's
we
okay.
have to accept them, nonetheless, if
Yeah,
we don't
sure, but
like
it's
them.
like I can feel the tension from you when you're answering my
Oh
questions. Like,
no, I
yeah,
also
yeah,
I see your point of view, but I have a different one.
yeah.
So
It's totally fine. But like I was saying, you're trying to dip my
yeah.
questions.
All
Like you're
right,
not
all
answering
right.
my question. And it's weird, but it's okay. It's okay. Sorry
Let's
for
move
that.
on.
Yeah. Okay. What about you?
Yeah, I would have to say something along similar lines. I don't really know when exactly I discovered my
Okay.
own style. If I even have my own style,
Okay.
I mean, I started with 2D stuff like logos and web design 15 plus years ago, and I just went with something that felt right for me and also fulfilled the assignment.
I see.
And yeah, I guess that was my style.
I
Something
see. I see. I see.
that would fulfill the assignment and that I would feel satisfied with.
I see. Okay. So throughout the process of making this game together, how have you changed as a person in other territories of your own life? Because I feel like everyone who is being creative, right, they change in other territories of their own life as well. Of course, question goes to both of you again.
I'm not really sure if I if the work itself changed me
Okay.
in any significant
Okay.
ways. I mean, in some ways, maybe from like from a working perspective, that I have some habits that I didn't
I
have
see. I see.
before.
I see. I see.
But as a person, I mean, if anything, it just makes me happier, I guess,
I see.
with my life. So, but I don't think that's really something that I could call a change.
I see.
So, yeah.
I see. What about you?
Yeah, I don't think I see a difference. My work life is also my real life, so it didn't really change me. It's the way I maybe change my view of the work I'm doing.
I see. I see. So throughout the process of your personal work to add it to the teamwork, did it ever happen that you had to cut out something from your work because of it didn't work throughout the process of making the game?
Yeah, I think so. Definitely, there's been times where I had an idea or a certain style um, that I was satisfied with, that
I
I
see.
thought that would work, but it either didn't fit well with other parts of the current of the given feature, mechanic element, whatever, or I got a majority feedback on it that was critical.
I see.
Right. So yeah, definitely there's been times where I had to, yeah, let's call it, throw out my personal idea, my personal vision, and accommodate, or maybe that's not the right word, but yeah, and go in a different direction that would work better.
I see. What about you?
I would double this, like, yeah, things just to have to change. You kind of marry your ideas, and they have to change for better.
I see.
That's good.
I see.
Yeah, and it's always, I mean, yeah, it's always a bit sad for me personally, at least. I mean, when you are happy with something you've done, and then you need to redo it in a way that doesn't kind of feel right for you, even though it works in the bigger picture. Uh, yeah, but it's par for the course, right? It's not something that you dwell on. It's
True.
potentially a very regular occurrence, not just in the gaming industry, but in any kind of industry, and you just need to roll with it.
I see. Did you have the option, by the way, to reuse those cut out things throughout your work? Or it never happened, like you had to cut out and that's it?
Maybe sometime, maybe I wouldn't say, maybe not during this project for myself.
Okay.
But when I was still doing other stuff than the gaming industry,
I see.
I definitely had the chance to not maybe 100% reuse something, more recycle.
I see.
I would say, but yeah. I mean, it's good to keep even the rejects somewhere in a folder. You can come back to it at some point, and yeah, maybe it will come in for some future project.
It happens all the time. Like, a project doesn't get released, for example, and you still can use, if you work in a small team, and let's say they agree, you can still use it for other purposes. Concept art, anything really. I mean, the projects we made so far, each time each of us were just reusing, saying like, "Oh, I got this from the last project," and then it comes together. It's quicker, saves time. Then you have more time to, uh, let's say, variate on those things and create a better version. So it's never, you never throw away anything.
I see. Okay. Both of you mentioned that historical events was something that was very important for the whole team to have in the game, right? And be historically accurate in the game with itself. Is it something that was the really first idea of the whole team that had? Or is it something that like you wanted to add later or had to add later?
Well, from what I know, the first thing was the core idea of, I mean, basically every gamer, every gamer that grew up outside of the United States and played some kind of open world game, had at least once in their life the notion or the wish to play an open world game set somewhere in their hometown, or
yeah, exactly
where they're familiar with, right?
True.
So I think this was the core idea behind the project.
I see.
And then immediately after this concept came the idea of telling a story based on history, based on real events, and the 90s were chosen as one of the most interesting in this regard.
I see.
So yeah,
I see.
Definitely was very important for us. We had, apart from the sources that are listed after the missions, like journals that came out, and newspaper articles. We also took a lot of a lot of facts and inspiration from TV series and documentary series and documentary movies that came out um, about the 90s and about Slovakia's mafia. We also had one of the script writers of several of these documentaries working as a consultant on our script. And we also used a lot of books that were written about the wild 90s over here. So we really picked and chose whatever we could fit into a coherent story, because a lot of these events take place not in like 1 year or 2 year, but they take place throughout the 90s, right? And we needed to figure out a way to to somehow fit them into one coherent story. So it's not always historically accurate in terms of chronology, right? In the order or time passed between the events. Um, but the connections between the story beats are based on real life as well as the content of the stories themselves.
I see. I see. You also mentioned before that like it was very important for every each of you in the team to listen to the players' feedback, right? How did you balance the vision and the players' feedback that was given?
Yeah. So basically we once the game was out in early access, we had the public Discord going on, and we had a um, feedback slash bug reporting feature directly in the game. And in the first weeks, it was it was crazy how much um, feedback we got, either good or bad.
I see. I see.
And on both Steam, Discord, and through the in-game reporting feature. And we went a very straightforward way with this. I think there's a format in our Discord server that lets people post their ideas and suggestions, right, and specific feedbacks, and people can react to that, comment on that, and it's you can have a very good overview of which ideas are generally liked by more than just one person, and which are just very niche, very personal wishes.
I see. I see.
And so we try to then prioritize, of course, some game breaking stuff, some critical bugs, optimization, right? And apart from that, we tried to pick as much of some ideas or features that players would like to see, that were popular in the community, but that also made sense in terms of the world and the story, and also not to have it too easy on ourselves, and also could be realistically done from a technical standpoint, and more importantly from a time standpoint.
I see.
Right. So something like just to name a few um, smaller things that I think were very popular and had a big impact on the overall feel of the game, like the ability to shoot through the all of the vehicle's tires. Right, that wasn't in the game for the early access release. Not that we didn't want it there; it just didn't work out time wise. But we added it later on, and small things like these that have a big impact on the world and on the gameplay, and that we also saw in the Discord or on other places that people would like to see in the game, were added and still are added regularly through updates. um, what should I say? I mean, I would like to tell everyone that all of the feedback is valued. Definitely, not every single idea or suggestion can be realistically implemented, either from a technical standpoint or a time standpoint, or to keep the world, the lore, and the story consistent.
I see. I see. So you mentioned that you still play video games if you have time for it. How has your perspective changed as a player from being a game developer?
So this is something that I've definitely felt in the last years. I've always liked to look at the games that I was playing um, closer, more in more detail, and to think about how they work and where they place emphasis,
I
right?
see. I see.
And but definitely since I started working in the gaming industry, this has grown to more of a professional deformation where I whatever game I play, there's always a part of my brain thinking about, oh, they've done this like this, oh, they've done this similar to the way we are doing some stuff, right? I know this system from this game, and they've clearly made an homage or inspired themselves from this other game, right? And so I do notice a lot more of how a game works, and maybe not the mechanics behind it, but the motivation, the reasoning behind it. Ever since I started working on games myself, yeah. But that's not a complaint. I do enjoy it. So
I see. I see. I see. I see. What about you?
You appreciate little things a lot more. For example, a little Easter eggs, like wow, they had time for that. You always get surprised. Uh, really, really, you appreciate games more now that you put the time and effort in. I think I had that realization in my first bachelor's uh, year. And I was like, wow, it's actually really time consuming to get anything done in a team. And it's not because the concept is really difficult, it's because you have to coordinate everyone and everything. And let's say this person cannot work without this person being done. So that's a big part of it as well. I think on its own, it's an art. Just making games together with someone, and you need to learn that. That that's something some people don't know when they start uni or when they start development. Working, communicating, it's very important.
I see.
And yeah, I still view games the same. Some things uh, I just like very specific things. Let's say.
I see. Sorry for that. Okay. What about the music part of the game and the sound design? You also mentioned like the car sounds was very important to be able to have
yeah,
these pretty much the same sounds as they were in real life. What about those
yeah. So
segments of the
this
game?
is this is something that we are really proud of,
Okay.
because a lot of the sound design in the game doesn't really come from any kind of sound bank. It's literally recorded by us or by uh, our sound designer,
I see. I see.
and this includes all of the cars, or okay, most of the cars. Um, and that were actually recorded. Also, destruction of cars. That's a funny tidbit that we also shared in one of our dev diaries some time ago, along with pictures of some of our team members literally going to a junkyard of sorts and destroying cars and recording the sounds for the game. This also includes weapons. We have
Okay.
authentic weapons that were used either in Slovakia, Czechia, or Czechoslovakia,
I
to
see. I
be
see. I see.
precise. Um, they are all either one-to-one to real life weapons or very closely based on them. And apart from recording those weapons themselves, we also had a little team building where we went to a shooting range to try out these specific weapons. That was a lot of fun. And in terms of other sounds of the game. We are also very proud of the voiceover.
Okay.
Because for the original Slovak version, we managed with a lot of luck, goodwill, and personal connections to get some pretty big names from our country onboarded onto the project. Full disclosure, there's this like misconception amongst some of our fan base or community that we spend a lot of our budget on the voiceover because there are big names, some celebrities that voice some of the main story characters. But it's actually the opposite. Most of these voiceover actors or celebrities voice this for practically nothing or literally nothing, just because they wanted to be a part of this very unique project that shows off part of our country's history and culture. So we have theater and movie actors. Marian Labuda Jr., I should add, voices the main character Milan in our game. Another actress, Kristina Svarinská, voices the journalist Laura. One of the more famous rappers in our country, Ego, voices the mafia boss that appears in the game, and so on. So we are very proud of the Slovak voice cast that we got. It was very interesting and very fun to work with all these people. And the same goes for, or almost the same goes for the English voice cast. We couldn't really, with our budget, manage to get celebrities on board, but all of the people that worked on the English voice cast are professional voice actors, native speakers who had years of experience, and it was truly an amazing experience to work with them on the English voiceover. Coincidentally, I was the one that somehow oversaw the process of the English voiceover, along, of course, our sound designer and the Czech sound studio Beep, where also some other big name titles were recorded or part of them, like Kingdom Come or even League of Legends to a certain extent. So we did that remotely, but it was nevertheless a very interesting experience working with professional voice actors, both Slovak and English ones. And yeah, we are proud of the work they've done. And it's still somehow surreal for me when I play the game and I hear voices that I know from movies and TV appearing as our characters in the game. Some of them even resemble their real life selves in the game, that they are modeled after the person.
I see. At the beginning of the interview, both of you mentioned that it was very important for you to do the research during the process of making this game come to life. How hard was it, or easy was it for you as a team to find everything during the research that you added to the game, even if it was like story-oriented stuff or like, the environment-oriented stuff in the game that players can enjoy and learn from and being educated from?
So in terms of story, as I mentioned, we had a lot of stuff to choose from.
Okay.
The movies, the documentaries, the
books,
I see. The screenwriter. So there wasn't also our literal archives of all newspapers. So there really wasn't a lack of source material.
I see.
That would pose a challenge. More so bringing it together as a comprehensive whole. So that would be in terms of story, I think.
I see.
In terms of the environment, maybe Marcy could say more about that.
In terms of environment, yeah, we I'm gonna link back to the Discord because again, we had fan base that included pictures. Let's say they had a family picture, like, oh hey, this is a picture my father took of this place in 90, etc., etc. So whenever we needed a reference, there wasn't any lack of it.
I see.
Of course, Google exists, and there's plenty of those newspaper pictures.
During these cases, by the way, is it like free for your own choice to use them, or is it tied up to somebody's personal life, for example, that you have to ask permission in order to use those? Mm-hmm. How does it work?
I mean, we don't really use them in game, such as material you put in. But you use them as a just reference. For example, whenever you.
Oh, you just mentioned the photo. That's why I was asking. I thought that the photo is like in the game or something.
Yeah, that would be maybe nice. Some photos to have them like that, but no, we don't.
It's more photos of buildings. And
I see. Okay. No, I thought that there are journals with photos in the game, and that's why I thought.
Yeah. No, okay. No. Would be nice though. Kind of fun idea. I would like to add to this that in terms of the characters, since some of them are based on real life people.
Okay.
And by that, I don't just mean the
do they know it, by the way? Do they know it?
Sorry?
Do they know it that they're?
Well, as I said, most of them
are not living,
not alive, anymore, or in jail, or not politically active.
Maybe they'll know in the jail, right? After the jail process, they will go out to the real world and see that, I'm in the game. I'm now famous.
I mean, I think they would be. I think they would.
That will be the double win situation for them, right? Out of the jail and be in the game, right? Win-win for them.
But the curious thing is that some of these people went away or went inactive politically before there was this huge thing called the internet and Facebook and all the pictures that you took everywhere from your personal lives.
I see.
So in some cases, it was actually very difficult to find either enough or good quality pictures of people that could be used as references for character models. So, and I don't want to say names, but in one particular case, it almost looked like the internet was swept clear of all their likenesses and their photos.
I see.
So and that remains a bit of a mystery to this day.
I see.
So yeah. At times, finding good reference material was and still can be challenging.
I see. You also started to continue your speech. Sorry for interrupting you.
Oh, I already don't know.
You started mentioning the environment part of your work and how
and
the research about it.
All right. I mean, I think I added everything there is. Jacob also described it really nicely.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. Okay. Are you down to go into some community-oriented questions before I ask some more closing questions?
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, by the way, let us know if there is anything that you would like to ask. Let us know.
So maybe if I can use the time before we get some questions from the chat.
Yeah, sure.
I would like to do some shameless plugs from our side. If anyone watching still hasn't joined our Discord, please feel free to do so. We are very slowly but steadily turning it into international from the original Slovak-speaking Discord. We have English-speaking channels and we have English-speaking mods. So feel free to join, share your opinions about the game or other games. Feedback and suggestions are always welcomed. Also, if you still haven't played the game, feel free to check it out on Steam. It's still part of the autumn Steam sale till tomorrow 7 p.m. ish, I think. So it's a very good time to opt in for the game. And if not, if you like the game but still want to wait for a bigger sale, for example, or for the 1.0 release, which completely understandable, make sure to wishlist the game. It means a lot to us and also helps us to keep going in terms of the Steam algorithm. So yeah, definitely check out our Discord and the game on Steam.
Thank you for that. Okay, by the way, there is already questions. Okay, so
Awesome.
That's me. Oh, so Mini is asking, why is it a bold character that is the main character of the game? What was the idea behind that?
I designed the character.
Or what was the influence behind that?
Do
you think
like
sorry,
part,
the addition to this question from Mini, sorry, I haven't read it. So the addition to this question, do you think like the influence behind it was because you wanted him to be like muscular and scary, the type of man who like kicks ass of everyone?
So short answer, yes.
Okay.
The boldness definitely adds to the more of a street thug, security guy kind of archetype,
Okay.
right? But I'm pretty sure that I could say that a lot of the influence came from the original Slovak voice actor.
Oh, okay.
For the character, which is also bold.
I see.
The main character doesn't look nearly as
yeah, that's what I
similar
wanted
to
to
the
ask.
voice actor.
Did you guys had
Yeah.
also like a motion capture like segments when you like?
We used some motion capture.
Okay.
But
to capture his
but
face
not
or
for
emotions or
not
anything?
for facial.
Okay.
For facial animations.
Okay.
We have like this little plugin that can take if it's a very good photo, and it can create a basic mesh and texture on a character model, which then needs to still be adjusted and fine-tuned, of course. But for our main character, we didn't go this way because we wanted full control of the mesh, of the topography. So the boldness is a reference to the voice actor for sure, but the likeness apart from that is less similar to the voice actor than maybe in other cases. But coincidentally, yes, it also adds a bit of a rough guy, muscular, at times mean even or rude kind of persona. So yeah, we stayed with it. We went with the bold guy. I hope this answers the question in a satisfying manner.
Yeah, I think it did. Yeah, thank you for the question and answer as well. Thank you for it. So both of you at the beginning of your interview, you mentioned that you always had this drive of learning about games and making games, right? How can you or what can you feel about your future? How would you like to see your future? Would you like to work in this team together for other years and making other games together, or can you see yourself also have a challenge for yourself, even if it would be like your own game that you would like to make, to have a total full control of freedom of your own vision? Or would you like to try out to work in or for other studios, like you mentioned, because you work on other games as well, not just your own game? So of course question goes to both of you now. Okay,
you wanna take this one first?
Go first. I'll have to think about this one.
Okay. So for me, I definitely, as I mentioned earlier, I definitely want to keep working in the gaming industry.
Okay.
Full stop. Okay. Right. And I also very much enjoyed my time with this particular team and would love to keep going with this team going forward on the next project.
I see.
Our projects, right? So I see that in a general way for the future. Uh, One of my lesser dreams, but yeah, lesser maybe isn't the correct word, but I would one day like to release my own game as well. Doesn't really matter how big the game is,
What
how
would be your
successful it
dream
is.
game that you would like to
I would
work
just,
on?
I would, I basically
I'm
at the
sure you have
moment
ideas,
it
right?
would be,
Don't
yeah,
tell me you
yeah.
don't have
I mean,
ideas. Please don't tell me that.
it would be something. It would have to be something that I could create
Okay.
myself from A to Z. And
Okay.
since I'm not a coder, I would still need
But you
to
still can
learn.
form a team
Yeah.
around your idea, right? So it still can
Well,
happen.
yeah, but no, because I meant this really specifically that I would want to release like a one person.
Oh, just you. So just
Right.
you.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
see. I
yeah.
see. I see.
So
I
that I
see.
would be that I would, because I would want to go through the whole process
I
and
see.
through all the elements that
I
make
see.
up a game, no matter how small
I
or
see.
big or how complicated or not complicated. Um,
With that, you would
and
aim for like a more story-oriented game or more gameplay-heavy game,
I'm
or you are not sure.
not
It's still in the making.
probably both are good options, right? Because if I would go for a more story oriented game, it could be a more simple in terms of game mechanics,
True. True.
coding,
True. True.
and
True.
so on, right? But if I would go into a more gameplay oriented game, it would be much easier in terms of script writing,
Okay.
voiceover,
Okay. Okay.
right, and so
Okay.
on. So both are viable options. And I do have some ideas,
Okay.
but it would really require me to learn some of the disciplines
I see.
that I don't know at the
I
moment.
see.
But it's like a little dream achievement of mine that I would from A to Z create the game, release it on Steam. I don't really care how successful it would be. I would
I
just
see.
like to just like a let's call it a exercise, like a
I see.
work exercise,
I see.
just to
I
go
see.
through the whole process
I see.
and have
Who
it
knows?
released.
Maybe you will be end up like doing games alone as well, right? Who knows?
Yeah, I
That will
mean,
be a challenge for you, but
it
you
would
will
be
learn by that way.
it wouldn't be nearly as fun as working in a team.
I see. I see. I see. Okay. What about you?
Yeah, it wouldn't be nearly as fun because team is a big part of the fun, and also you don't have to know the A to Z to create a
Okay.
game. You just can specialize on one thing, which is what I like the most because there's so much to know. Like, of course, I wouldn't know more about the technical stuff, so I really appreciate people that can step in for that part, and
I see.
I can work on more aesthetic stuff. But if I were to work on my own style, it would be definitely a board game because that element you can prototype on a paper, and
I see.
then visuals are just a second-hand appeal.
I see.
So yeah, maybe someday.
Okay.
But so far, I really enjoy working with people.
Okay.
Again, you just don't rely on yourself, which is great.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that. Okay, Lukács is asking, which is your favorite piece of music in video games? Even if it's about your game that you created, Vivat Slovakia, or even if it's about
Okay,
other
I
games.
have to think about this for a second.
I
But this
really
isn't
love our radio. Like, I
Okay.
think that's well done in Slovakian. The voiceover, it's really fun, and in English, I mean, as well. It's just, I like the jokes. What can I
Okay.
say? I'm a simple man.
so I would have to. I mean, I do enjoy the music and the sounds in our game, but I would have to say one of my favorites. Probably, yeah. I mean, if I really had to pick one, then it would probably be either Assassin's Creed,
Okay.
but the Italian ones.
Okay.
I'm not sure which of the trilogy it was, but it's like the Ezio's Family, I think is called the tune or the score.
Okay.
Or anything from Ori and the Blind Forest.
Nice.
If I remember correctly, that was composed by a Japanese composer, and I really like piano music. I play the piano on a very amateur level.
Oh, nice.
So I like piano music, and in combination with the environment and the story of the game, it was pure magic. So these two would be head to head very, very strong contenders for first place in terms of favorite music in games.
I see. So during the process of working on this game, what was something that you learned from the history itself about your country that you did not know, but you learned it because of your game, and it was like the most interesting thing that you learned because of working on this game? Question again goes to both of you.
Mm-hmm.
That's a tough question because I learned a lot.
Okay.
I mean,
yeah, but what was something that like ticked into your head? Like it's like, wow, mind blowing.
Right now, I have a lot of things whirling around.
Name more. Name more. Then
Think about
name more examples.
I mean, there's some major events in the game that are definitely interesting, but that I've known about before working on the game. But also some smaller ones, but just in comparison, smaller ones that I had no idea about. And one thing that stood out for me was when I found out that the secret police of our country didn't use scramblers when they talked over radios. That they actually, for a very long time, apparently, they've talked on open channels, unscrambled. They had some form of basic like code words.
I see.
But they were very easy to follow. And if you had like a I don't know the word, homemade radio, I guess, or like a listener, then you could just tune in to one of these frequencies and listen to the secret police working, following people, protecting some VIPs and stuff. So that was kind of mind blowing that 30 years ago, officials in a very high capacity were using unscrambled frequencies on open channels. That's insane for me.
Do you think like it was because of the lack of their intelligence about it or knowledge about it or something other?
I honestly couldn't say, but the reasoning behind it.
It wasn't explained. I see.
Yeah. It was.
I see. What about you?
I still don't know. I cannot name one. It's very.
But yeah, like I said, you can name more. So feel free to do that.
Yeah, literally like for example, as Jacob said, yes, that's surprising even to me. There are loads of facts you can read in the story, for example, and those surprised me as well.
I see. What other examples could you name? Like you said, there is a huge list, but what other concrete examples could you name? Or exact examples?
Yeah, like
for example, if you play the game, you have to what's the name in English? Jacob.
Sorry?
Kidnap. You have to kidnap
the
son's president.
Okay.
I guess that's something from a movie. It's not anything on a regular basis like, hey, they want to kidnap his son today. It's just crazy.
Something that actually happened here, that the president's son was kidnapped
while
abroad, right? And then I mean, these aren't spoilers; these are historical facts. So I'm sorry, guys, but this really happened in our country. That
you can read the spoilers in the history book, right?
Then the president's son was abducted, right? Allegedly by the prime minister, and then the prime minister became the new president and gave himself amnesty for the kidnapping.
Okay.
So that's like that's pretty insane. That's pretty insane.
Okay.
That's one of the darker points in Slovakia's history, I would say.
I see. So what about the future? Do you guys have like a roadmap for the game with all the content drop that you are planning, or is it something that is still at the development phase that you can think of?
We definitely have an outline of a roadmap
I see.
from now
I
till
see.
the 1.0 release. Uh, it's not really subject to change anymore,
I see.
or not to some big extent. I think we would still like to do some regular updates before
I
the
see.
1.0 release
I
to
see. I
add
see. I
some
see.
additional content in terms of side activities
I see.
or quality of life improvements, optimization, some, of course, some technical issues, bug fixes, and so on. But the most of our time is now being invested into the second half of the story,
I see.
right? Into the story missions of side B, as we dubbed it, because of the logo, the cassette that has side A and side B, and that will be the biggest feature that we will be working on until 1.0, other than the other stuff that I mentioned.
I see. I see. I see. I see. For how long would you like to as a team support this game, and when will be the time for you and your team to like switch to another project and make another game?
I don't think that I could say at this point a specific date, or
Okay.
even a broader range.
I see.
It will definitely, the game, the 1.0 release is scheduled to come out at the start of next year,
I see. I see. I
without
see.
giving away any specific dates.
I see.
Um, in terms of supporting the game afterwards, it all comes down to how popular it will be,
I
how
see.
active the player base will be, what kind of feedback we will get from the 1.0 release. We will have to carefully plan all that out, um, and see how much time, how much effort is still needed, and also necessary. I mean, no, needed and wanted, I guess,
I see. I see. I see.
in terms of after release support. Um, but as a small studio, we need to keep moving forward.
I see.
So for a time, we definitely will be supporting the game for a time. But since it's not really a live service game, or like a multiplayer of any sorts, right? There will be a point where our efforts on this game will be at their final end, and we will completely move on to the next project,
I see.
which I not at this point, I don't really still want to talk about a lot about it, but I can give away at least some tidbits. It will be also based on an environment here in our country.
I see.
It will be a completely different genre
Oh,
than
okay.
Vivat Slovakia, though. And we are also aiming for a much shorter development cycle with
I see.
the next project.
Does it mean that the game playability or play time will be also shorter, or it doesn't
Not
mean that?
necessarily.
Okay.
Not
Okay.
necessarily. If anything, it could be potentially even longer,
I see.
the game
Okay.
time.
Okay.
But since the genre will be completely different, and the scope will be a lot, it won't be open world.
I see. I see. I see.
That's suffice to say, it won't be an open world game. So that will decrease the scope and the workload of the entire
I
team
see. I see. I
immensely,
see.
and therefore we were hoping to go for a very very much shorter development cycle.
I see. So, what about console editions of the game? Are you guys planning to release your game to any other platforms, like PlayStation
It's
5, Xbox, maybe Switch?
it's a tricky question. When it comes to Vivat Slovakia, the I'm going to just say it outright. The time, effort, and finances needed
Okay.
to port this over to any of the of today's popular consoles would would have to be justified by the game's popularity on PC, right? So if we see that the game really takes off and becomes like this major hit worldwide, and that there's enough of a demand on the console market, it's not impossible, but at this point, it's improbable.
I see.
It's improbable, or at least for this project. The next one, that's still undetermined.
I see. Yeah, because I feel like open world games and pretty much this game of yours are very appealing to consoles players, at least in my opinion. Or would be if it would be on consoles, right?
It's in terms of, for example, for the PS Store, it's extremely difficult to even get your game approved.
I see.
Even more so if you're a relatively unknown small studio.
I see.
For Xbox, it would be in this regard, at least, it would be a bit easier. For Switch, I mean, Nintendo is a very strict curator of games, from what I know. So again, even notwithstanding the time, effort, and finances needed to do an actual port of the game, there are other challenges to bringing a game onto the console market.
I see. Okay. So we discussed here a lot of topics. Is there anything that you would like to add before I will go into my final question?
I mean, it's been a journey. It's definitely been a journey, and we're still not at the end of it. Not nearly. We are at the final stretch for this game for sure. We are very much looking forward to seeing how far we can push this on the international market.
I see.
And I would just like to reiterate to anyone watching that we would like to hear your thoughts, ideas, suggestions on the game. Even if you just saw some streams and some videos and you didn't play it yourself, join the Discord, talk about our game and other games, and be a part of the process. Because as we mentioned earlier, a lot of the games, a lot of the version of the game that is out currently and that will be out in the 1.0 release was, in a sense, co-created by the community as well.
I see. Okay. What about you? Is there anything that you would like to add?
Yeah, just a big thank you for the community that already is part of the Discord group and has supported us. It's just really great to see people interested in what you're doing.
I see. Okay. So my closing question would be, what would be your advice from all your experiences now to the point that you worked for so many years on this game and other games as well, to other developers who would like to start their own career and make the first step into the video game industry itself? Again, question goes to both of you.
That's a tough question because a lot goes into the planning.
Yeah, I wanted to say, if I had to boil it down, then planning would be like the golden standard, or whatever you would like to call it. I mean, yes, you need to have an idea, drive, ambition, like willpower, whatever. But if there's one thing you absolutely have to keep focus on from even before you start actually working on a game, and all the way through to its release and after, it's planning, because there's so many moving parts, even in a much smaller scope game than an open world one. So many moving parts, and with every new person that joins forming team, it gets even more moving parts, more complicated. So planning it out and calculating that everything will take at least twice as long as you think originally is probably like the best advice that we can give at this point, because there's never enough time. There's never enough time to do everything you want. There's never enough time to do everything perfectly, and you really need to plan and prioritize.
I see. What about you?
Yeah, it is twice as long, but it's also twice as more expensive than if you're having a team that is also not there just for fun. So
But
the budget is also needs to be blown up as well to account for those.
But don't be scared to give it a try, even if you don't have your own capital or don't have like a big name with a lot of money behind you. In Nowadays, there definitely is a lot of alternative ways to finance a game, either through crowdfunding, which, yeah, by the way, we also did a very successful crowdfunding campaign for the game in our country, with something akin to Kickstarter, but just for the local market.
I see.
There's also local grants and grants on a European level being awarded to video game developers, not just to music, movies, books, or whatever projects. There's also funds for game studios.
I see.
So there's always a way to, if you look hard enough, if you try hard enough to get your vision out. But planning and prioritizing, that's
Also a big hard truth is that 20% of the games are only successful on Steam, and there's a bit of all of that together, and then maybe you hit that 20%. So realistically, I think we did a really good job. So that's a bad for us.
True. Okay. Thank you, by the way, for the questions from the chat as well, and thank you for your time here with me as well. Thank you so much. It was really a pleasure.
Thank you for having us on.
Thank you. Like I said, I will need some more of your minutes of stream, but for those who are watching us here at today's episode, and will be watching the VOD on Twitch or YouTube edited version later this year, thanks for joining us, and don't forget to try out Vivat Slovakia, and also leave your review on the Steam or on their Discord page as well, because it really helps. Thank you so much.